Hello everyone, this is Venkatesh Chaturvedi, a verified educator on Unacademy. मैं Unacademy पे पिछले 4 साल से पढ़ा रहा हूँ और अनबायस्ड सीरीज का ये चौथा एपिसोड आप लोगों के लिए मैं प्रस्तुत कर रहा हूँ. द टॉपिक इज आर वी फेसिंग कोल्ड वॉर 2.0. तो काफी समय से ये डिबेट चल रही है कि इस समय अगर हम देखें 21st सेंचुरी में तो कोल्ड वॉर का फिर से रिसर्जेंस हुआ है. So let us understand first what is Cold War. Cold War was the geopolitical tension between the bloc of USA and USSR. When I say bloc, it basically means कि there were several countries जो USA के साथ aligned थे and there were various countries जो आपके USSR के साथ aligned थे and they were having आपके tensions between them which were not transpiring into a hot war per se, but they were leading to a lot of geopolitical and diplomatic wars, proxy wars, as well as a lot of tensions in other domains. It was faced by arms race, it was faced by scientific race, it was faced by proxy wars as well. आजकल के ज़माने में 21वीं शताब्दी में इन द 21st सेंचुरी देयर आर अगेन क्वेश्चंस कि क्या आजकल का जो जियोपॉलिटिकल सिचुएशन है इज इट कोल्ड वॉर 2.0, क्या हम लोग कोल्ड वॉर 2.0 को फेस कर रहे हैं. द क्वेश्चन इज व्हाई इट इज अ न्यू कोल्ड वॉर. सो द फर्स्ट पर्टिकुलर पर्सपेक्टिव इज कि यस, इट इज अ कोल्ड वॉर विच वी आर फेसिंग. Let us understand and analyze this particular perspective, that why and how the present situation is indeed a cold war. इससे पहले कि हम आगे बढ़ें, फर्स्ट थिंग वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड हम किस पर्टिकुलर कॉन्टेक्स्ट में इस कोल्ड वॉर की बात करते हैं. द प्रेजेंट सिनेरियो, देयर आर थ्री डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ सजेशंस फॉर कोल्ड वॉर टू एग्जिस्ट. द फर्स्ट वन इज कि बोला जाता है कि जो यूएसए है and the rivalry with Iran at present is seemingly somewhat like Cold War. Similarly, it is also suggested that USA and Russia, जो है आपका USSR के बाद जो रशिया 1991 के बाद बना है, उसके बीच में भी आजकल कोल्ड वॉर चल रहा है. Though there are some indicatory suggestions which are indicating towards that particular proposition, but the thing is, the Cold War 2.0 is more so debated in the context of USA and China relations. यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स और चाइना के जो रिलेशंस हैं, उनके जो टेंशंस चल रहे हैं आजकल, उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हम लोग कोल्ड वॉर की ज्यादा बात करते हैं. लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड हाउ एंड इफ यस, हाउ द आपका यूएसए एंड चाइना रिलेशंस आर कॉल्ड द न्यू कोल्ड वॉर. द फर्स्ट थिंग इज द ट्रेड वॉर. Since the last a decade or so, we have been seeing a lot of tussle between USA and China with trade sanctions, with retaliatory trade tariffs which have been imposed from USA and China on various products. ठीक है, अगर आप देखिए तो USA और China आपके तू मैं करते रहते हैं ऑन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ योर ट्रेड वॉर. ट्रेड वॉर के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में काफी ज्यादा टेंशन चल रहे हैं. सो दैट शोज हाउ जिस तरीके से यूएसए और यूएसएसआर के बीच में एक समय टेंशन चलते थे, ऑन द सेम पर्टिकुलर लेवल अगर हम देखें तो समवॉट ऑन द इकोनॉमिक डोमेन, ऑन द ट्रेड डोमेन, यूएसए और चाइना आर आल्सो फाइटिंग इन द इकोनॉमिक फ्रंट. द नेक्स्ट थिंग इज दैट देयर आर द प्रेजेंट सिनेरियो ऑफ योर कोरोना ब्लेम ऑन चाइना. अगर आप डोनाल्ड ट्रंप जो इस समय के आपके प्रेसिडेंट है यूएसए की, उनके बहुत सारे हाल के स्पीचेस सुनिएगा तो ही हैज ब्लेटेंटली ब्लेम्ड आपके चाइना by stating that corona or covid-19 was a Chinese virus, and he said that आपके वुहान से ही वो इमर्ज हुआ है and it was probably a conspiracy by China. So these kind of rhetorics wherein USA is blaming आपका China kind of reminds us of how USA used to blame Russia for all these kinds of आपके things which are happening all around the world during the Cold War before 1991. The second thing is आपका द न्यूक्लियर रेटोरिक, राइट. दो न्यूक्लियर रेटोरिक अगर आपके यूएसए और चाइना के बीच में हम कंपेयर करें, isn't as significant as how it used to be between USSR and USA. But yet recent times में जब USA ने ब्लेम किया है लॉक नूर में आपकी चाइना को क्या कहते हैं आपका क्रिटिकल लेवल तक की टेस्टिंग करते हुए उसको उनको सजेशंस मिले हैं that there have been testing done by China at Lopnur at the critical stage of nuclear activity. And against that, USA has said that I think it's time that USA should again increase its nuclear testing to show China that what it's doing is wrong. Shows kind of a nuclear rhetoric which is being played between the two nations in the recent times, right? But yet यहाँ पे अगर हम compare करें with USSR, the quantum may not be as significant as it used to be between the two before 1991. Next, the recent time अगर आप देखो, in fact in the last 10 days there have been a call by Donald Trump to increase G7 into a group of 11 by including countries like India, Russia, Australia and South Korea, wherein they have basically blatantly said that this is gonna be a group which is gonna be opposing the rise of the violent rise of China, which again shows a tensions which are brewing between USA and China. Further, China has again and again been called by the experts in USA, the diplomats in USA, even the आपके जो top politicians in USA as a revisionist power. What is a revisionist power? USA at present is supposed to be a status quo power because it wants the status quo to be maintained. उसको चाहिए कि भैया जैसा है वैसा ही रहे. It should remain as a superpower. China, with its aspiration under the leadership of Xi Jinping, is seen as a revisionist power in the sense that it wants to displace USA as the superpower and wants to become itself a superpower. So the revisionist stance of China and the claim by USA that China is a revisionist power, and that shows that we are probably heading towards or are already into the Cold War 2.0, right? Now the next question is, why is it not Cold War 2.2? क्यों नहीं है ये Cold War 2.0? Because see, there are so many things which are going in line of how USA and USSR relations were before 1991 to show that yes, there are some signs of the present scenario between USA and China being a Cold War. But yet there are still some evidences to show otherwise as well. Why is it not a Cold War 2.2? The first thing is, world is not as bipolar as it used to be between USA and USSR. There were defined blocks. एक सुपर पावर आपका यूएसए था, एक सुपर पावर आपका यूएसएसआर था. Other countries were small प्यादे or small pawns in their activities, right? Whereas at the present scenario, we are heading towards a more multipolar world. We are now a more multipolar world, which is to say that it's not just USA and China which are there. There's a rise of India. There's a rise of Japan. There's a rise of Iran. There's a rise of Vietnam, Russia. So there are so many other countries to make it a multipolar world rather than a bipolar world. So the Cold War phenomena is generally associated with the post-World War II and pre-disintegration of the Soviet Union, wherein the world order was bipolar. There were clear bipolar आपके powers defined, which is not the scenario right now. We are a multipolar world, right? Which kind of create a more check and balance than it used to create in the bipolar world. Further, in the present globalized scenario, right, when there's so much of interconnection, when there's so much of interdependence between the nations, right, it's very difficult to think that the Cold War scenario wherein USA and USSR were not interacting with each other at all would exist. यूएसए एंड यूएसएसआर एक दूसरे से आपके ट्रेड वगैरह में बात ही नहीं करते थे आपके, एक्सेप्ट मे बी वेरी वेरी माइनर ट्रेड विच यूज्ड टू हैपन, बट अदरवाइज देयर यूज्ड टू बी नथिंग बिटवीन देम, विच इज नॉट आपका विच इज नॉट सो इन द प्रेजेंट सिनेरियो. अगर आप देखो, चाइना इन्वेस्ट चाइना इज बीइंग इन्वेस्टेड हेविली बाय योर यूएसए. चाइना के जो लोग हैं बहुत ज्यादा काम करते हैं आपके यूएसए में. सो दिस इंटरडिपेंडेंस बिटवीन द टू नेशंस इज समथिंग विच इज वेरी वेरी डिफरेंट देन व्हाट इट यूज्ड टू बी बिटवीन यूएसए एंड योर यूएसएसआर बिफोर 1991. Further, there's, as I told you, more interdependence, which has basically followed the golden arches theory or the economic interdependence theory or the democratic peace theory in terms of the international politics, wherein because there is more interdependence, the quantum of benefit which these interdependence may create probably is more than the cost of a war or cost of even a cold war between the nations, right? Therefore there is always, despite of all the rhetorics, there is always आपका um, um, more options of reconciliation happening because there is more interdependence between these nations, right? Apart from that, nuclear equivalence नहीं है. USA and USSR were kind of nuclear equivalent, and not even nuclear equivalent, they were superpower equivalent as well. उनकी पावर एक दूसरे से काफी बराबर सी थी. They used to compete with each other, whereas in China and USA case what we observe is that competition इतना नहीं है. USA is still a superpower, China is still a rising power. Nuclear equivalence की भी बात अगर हम करें तो USA still has an upper edge over any other nation. चाहे USA आप रशिया ले लो, चाहे आप चाइना ले लो, right? Therefore there is lack of nuclear equivalence to give it the to make it comparable to the Cold War before 1991, right? Further, the proxy warfare was a very important and integral part of the USA and USSR Cold War. So the Cold War One, which we call now, had a lot of proxy warfare. बहुत जगहों पे एक साइड USA लेगा, एक साइड आपका USSR लेगा, and they were clear आपके blocks defined. That is not so at present. अगर हम देखें माइनर वे में, अगर हम देखें तो चाइना कुछ कुछ कंट्रीज पे इन्फ्लुएंस करता है, ऑब्वियसली यूएसए डज द सेम, बट आपका आउटराइट प्रॉक्सी वॉरफेयर इज नॉट देयर. प्रॉक्सी वॉरफेयर अगर हम देखें तो इज मोर प्रोमिनेंट इन केस ऑफ ईरान एंड यूएसए केस. ईरान एंड यूएसए केस में ज्यादा प्रॉक्सी वॉरफेयर का एंगल है. देयरफॉर उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में कभी कभी ईरान एंड यूएसए का भी कोल्ड वॉर की बात की जाती है, परंतु यूएसए और चाइना के केस में प्रॉक्सी वॉरफेयर के कुछ कुछ evidences are there, initial niche evidences are there, but it's not as prominent, as huge as it was in the case of USA and आपका USSR. Therefore, with all these different perspectives, it's up to you to decide whether we are into the Cold War 2.2 or not. Please comment in the comment section below your opinion, your decision. क्या हम Cold War 2.2 पे हैं या नहीं? If yes, why? If not yes, why? Please do not forget to like, do not forget to subscribe, do not forget to share these videos and give suggestions in the comment section of more such videos so that I can create more such content for you guys. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, everyone.